Hello, this is a couple of days or so on from the last time I did the Norton yoke episode. I'm just making a start, or going to make a start on the new stem for it. I've been having a measure up, and I'm part way through that at the moment. I've just got to check my my diameters I need, but that's roughly what we've got at the moment. It's approximately 9 1/8 overall lengthwise, and I've got my my distance sort of out of the yoke to the top, and what's in the yoke, and so on. So I'll finish this little bit of measuring. So I've got a piece of steel, sort of the metric equivalent of EN8 from my my local steel suppliers. It's always quite difficult for some people, I know, to get hold of bits of steel. Fortunately, a friend of mine put me onto these guys, and actually drove past them many times and never even give them a thought. AC Steel Services Limited. They're in Clark Industrial Estate, Wetmore Road, Burton-on-Trent, and they do a brilliant service. They keep sort of the offcuts and things on racks, all marked up and everything, and you can go and buy sort of little bits off them, which I know some of the bigger companies don't even bother with. They want to sell you sort of 6 metre lengths of steel, which obviously for our type of use isn't always very good. So yeah, thumbs up to them. I'll try and put a link in the description box and some contact details if you're sort of in the Derby, Burton, Lichfield sort of area for and needed some steel supplies. So yeah, we'll get this piece of bar set up in the lathe, and then I'll talk through sort of an order of operations for how we're going to tackle this job. So over to the lathe. Right, I've got a piece of stock in there. I'm dialed into sort of what, a couple of thou, maybe even less actually, probably 1.5 thou. So I'll get the end drilled with the centre, and we'll get a centre in there to support. You might notice the new oil pot there with the brushes in. They're actually kiddies' paint pots with a spill-proof lip on them. They're about a £5 for half a dozen off eBay. Quite a good cheap alternative to buying the Spillmaster types, and that's them. They've got I'll put a magnet in the bottom just to help keep it sort of stuck to the top, and collect the okay, we faced off that end and put a centre in it. So now I'll just mark some rough positions, particularly down here. That bit doesn't really matter yet. I'll put so I need to get the mark 7 1/4. I think it was for our first step there, and we'll use the digital readout on the lathe for doing that. There's our initial marks to work from, and now we'll start taking this down to rough size. So initially we can take it down to 1 inch straight away, so I can take 250 thou off it. So we'll touch it off. We'll back that out to 20 thou cut. Okay, I've had a little test cut just to see what it'll take. We'll try 20 thou, see what happens. And we're on 10 thou per revolution here. downside with this old lathe is at the back end of the bed here with the saddle, it's quite tight. I've oiled everything up, and we'll see what sort of finish we get. Feeding another 20. Just try it with a bit of cutting oil. Just slowed the feed rate down a little bit so you can improve the finish, just so I can get a feel for this this material before we get close to finishing cuts. This is another 20 thou, so that's 60 thou total cut, 120 thou off the diameter. Okay, we're going to take off 60, 120. I'm at 2 1/4, aren't I? So I should be about 1 1/4. Or an inch then for some reason. Well, 125 ish. So another 120 thou off. We'll carry on with that again. I'm still trying to get a better finish than that. It's quite rough, that is, but it's a little bit tougher steel. We'll see if I can improve that. Okay, I've gone a bit slower on the feed and a bit more on the depth of cut. 30 thou depth of cut now. And 5 thou per revolution on the feed. Now to get a better finish on carbide, you need to work it quite well. Actually, it doesn't like taking light cuts. I'm just going to try this last little bit with some tough cut aqua. See what sort of a finish I get with that wrinkle on it. This should be the final cut. I've dialed in 28.5 thou. I've got about 57 thou to come off it. Doesn't matter if we go a little bit under on this for the threading part anyway. So here we go with the last pass. I'm definitely getting a better result with this water-based cutting fluid. Should be our final pass here. Okay, let's see how we did. Critical bit there. Eight 126. I'm a 10th over. That's not bad, that. Right, well, that bit I'll blend in a little bit with a little round edge tool. We'll get this dimension done next. Right, this section's got to be 986 thou, and we're at 1248.5. 1249-ish. So let's get it down to the inch first and re-zero the DRO. And as before, we'll take 30 off it, 60 thou off the cut. $30 thou cut, 60 thou off the diameter. To be fair, I could speed it up and leave it rough until I get closer, but I'll carry on as how it's working. How did we do? 986 we're aiming for. 9873 there. 987. 973. We're about a thou over, maybe a thou and a few tenths, but by the time that's had a little polish, that'll be fine. And so I've just got to get in there and round that off a little bit, and I'll just square that shoulder up in a second, and then we'll do that dimension. Right, this dimension here, and we're going for it's 1 inch 125 in the yoke, so somewhere like 1 inch 120 to say 123. Give it a little bit of clearance on that just to make sure it goes in okay. So again, as ever, we'll touch off. Zero, and we've got to take about 1 inch 250 off, so we've got to take about 120 thou off. So I'll do the 30 thou, and then we'll see where we are. So that'll be 60 thou total. There, 122, 1 inch 122, so just a few thou under, so I'm happy at that. I'll just put a little chamfer on there, and that'll do for tonight then. I'll feather that up tomorrow and just clean up, and then we'll get the thread on there. Okay, whether we can see this on camera or not, I've got a little round profile tool in there. I'm just going to blend that edge in there a little bit, just so it's sort of stress relieved, if you like. And this is just going to be by hand. Okay, that's it, that's nicely flowed into there, no sharp edges and corners and things, so there's no chances of fracturing at that point. Okay, I'll get set up for for threading and see how that goes. Right, I don't know how well we're going to get this in the picture, because I'm on to the Nikon camera again for now. I've got a bit of a problem with the GoPro at the moment, so I've set up the threading tool there to square to the work with the usual sort of thread gauge, and I've set the height to the centre height as is normally the case. Just got to put the centre back up there and just put a little bit of load onto it there. I'm just gonna move a few bits around and set up the thread pitch on the lathe, so back in a little moment. Okay, the thread pitch has been set on the thread cutting gearbox. I'm not 100% sure on what you're going to actually see as we stand with this other camera. I can't get in close enough very easy at all, so let's do a little bit of a scratch pass and just see that we're looking about right, and then I'll see what it looks like on camera. So I've got the thread pitch gauge set up. I've already zeroed the cutting point. I put a little tiny bit of cut on with the compound slide, which is set at 30 degrees. So we're only cutting on one face as we go forward in the normal manner. There are a lot better videos on YouTube than my version of thread cutting, so look them up. Sort of your A-Bomb 79s and John at Double Boost do this a lot better than I do, so take a look at their channels, which I'm sure you probably already have. So let's see what we can do. I'll be using the thread dial threading indicator on the carriage. We're on 26 TPI. It's a 60 degree thread form because it's cycle thread, not 55 degree thread form, which is a Whitworth form, which is used on British Standard brass. So I've got the tool resharpened and honed at 60 degrees, a nice sharp point on it because it's a very fine thread and won't take much to sort of depth to put the thread on with this thread I'm doing. Okay, let's get going. Just putting the lightest of scratches on the surface there. Just got my magnifying headband there, and yes, we're right on there, so happy with that one. Okay, let's see where we are with that. We're just starting, so take a few more thou off. I've just took another pass. I've just started to try that nut. And there we go, we're about there. I want the nut running up and down a few times just to sort of burnish the threads a little bit. But that's good. No play, no slop that way. Nice fit. Right, I'll just clean up a little bit around here. Just take a light bit of emery in, and we'll have a look at the centre drilling then. Right, I'm set up for drilling. I've got a long series 6.5mm drill there to get me a pilot through as far as I can from one end. Sorry, and then I'll have to turn it round and true it up and go from the other end. Unfortunately, I can't get through that length in one drill bit. I haven't got the drill bit, I haven't got the capacity in the lathe either. So I mean, if I take that further up, I could have the capacity, but I haven't got the drill bit, so we'll go from 2 ways. It's not ideal, but that's what we've got. So let's see how this goes. We're away. And I'll come back when we've made some progress. This is going to be about as interesting as watching paint dry. Secret with this is take the time, with my equipment anyway, and clear the drill regularly. We're nearly at the end of the flutes. Do a few cuts, back it out, clear the drill, quick spray, back in again. So we are now 6 inches deep on that, so we're well past halfway up to about that point. So I'll see what the next stage is, where the two, that's a 6.5. I can't remember what the damper rod size is, whether it's 1/4 or 5/16. I certainly don't think it's 3/8. I don't think we need to go as big as the hole in the original stem, to be truthful. So what I might do is do it out to say 3/8, probably 10mm, a little bit over 3/8, and that should give us enough scope for a damper rod, should one be required. It may not even be required, depends on what it's going. 10mm drill in. I've got to get pretty much up to the chuck with this one, way past the end of the flutes, to reach just beyond our halfway point there, so we can get from both ends. this time we should have a bit of clearance. Sure to be able to get through this a bit quicker. There are the chips, there the swarf, whatever you want to call it. And that's it, as far as I can go with that. So we'll get ready for parting off, and then turn it round, throw it up again in the forge jaw, and we can clean up the bottom end and go from the other way with the drilling. Just countersink on that end quick, a little bit, just to tidy it up. I'm set up to part off here. I recently bought a carbide tip parting tool, which I've found to be so far very good. I get much better results with parting with this than I do with the HSS one. So whether I'm getting my grinds wrong or my heights wrong or something, but I'm on centre line with this shimming. I think I'll just about get through. You've got to have everything as rigid as you possibly can with parting off. There's the straw. Well, it was better. Find out where that vibration comes from. I'll come back in a minute when it's done. Okay, as I'm getting further in, it's a lot better. So whether anyone out there can explain to me what's going on. That's far better than the other day, than earlier on rather. And then you've got to keep pressure on a parting tool when it's cutting, keep it cutting, which I'm aware of. But this is going to be about the maximum bar size that I can cut with this tool. I'm getting close to the body. Very close to the body there. There we go. Not quite, it's just left a little pip. So I'll just stop and break that off now. Right, there's our stem so far. We'll get that re-chucked up now and clean up that face and drill from the other end, which probably, looking at the time, might be tomorrow now. So I'll see you in the morning for this one. Right, we're reversed in the chuck there and true back up. So I'll set up for centre drilling again, and then we'll get the rest of that hole drilled through. And we've got about 70 thou to come off that that thickness there. I've just measured it and took one light skim, so we're zeroed. So going off the digital readout, I'll take a couple of 30 thous off it. Rubbing slightly, a little bit too much for that tool. Right on it. $143, another 20 will do. Okay, I'll just change tool into last little bit, just a quick counter sink on that underside. That'll do us. Right, I'll get this out, and there we are. There's our completed shaft next to the old shaft, and one of those shafts that go into the steel yokes. We've got a nice through hole all the way through, everything lined up. So we'll get this cleaned up and get it pressed back into the bottom yoke. There's some scoring in the bore of this bottom yoke, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit it cold with a little bit of Loctite retainer, just to be sure that it's not going to come out. So I'll go and press that in the garage. Okay, I've got a bit of Loctite 6/8 retainer on there. Pop that into there. Well, one of the things I have learned that you must not do is try and use retainer or Loctite and heat at the same time, as it goes off instantly and grabs like a gun. and you get stuck part way through the operation. Hoping this bit of aluminium angle is going to be sufficient to support it. That is a good fit. That is beautiful. That is just how I wanted it. A nice press fit with a bit of retainer. That's going nowhere. Hopefully this is in the picture from the GoPro. I haven't got the Wi-Fi on, I'm just experimenting without the Wi-Fi. But there we have it. One new stem in the old yoke. That's good to go now for the chap. Should be good. Another job done. Thanks for watching these episodes. Hope you've enjoyed them, and as ever, bye for now. So we can compare the two there. There's our two side by side. So we've got the length right for the stem.